Okay.
Hello. Good evening,
So,
everybody.
yay! So Andrea is joining us live from Sardegna, and he operates a wine shop it's near Cagliari, giusto?
Yes,
In
near
southern
Cagliari.
Sardegna.
Yes, 40 kilometers near Cagliari. Yes, San Luri is the city. Yeah.
Perfect. And he knows all about all the wines that we're going to cover today. So I've parted a little bit from the normal presentation that I give because Andrea prepped all of that for me. So I'm going to let him do a lot of the technical stuff today, and I'm going to make it a little more personal. And I've come up with some photos of my own that I wanted to show you and talk about Sardegna in general and as a place for you to visit, hopefully with Slice of Tuscany. And then we'll talk about the wines, and I'll throw it to Andrea for that, okay? So we will get started. Let me share my screen with you. Oh, you guys. So I just can't tell you, every week we've been doing these and I'm focusing on different regions, and every week gets me so excited about all these places. Makes my heart hurt thinking about the times I've been there and want to go back so badly, and so excited to go back again in the future. So just briefly off the bat, what are we talking about? Sardegna in Italian, or Sardinia as in English, so as you may have heard it. Either way, it's gorgeous. It's the second largest island in the Mediterranean after Sicily, and it's the third largest region in Italy after Sicily and Piedmont. The Nuraghi were the native tribe here, and we're going to see some of the structures that are all over the island that still remain, called nuraghe after them, these conical huts. But interestingly, so Italy has 5 autonomous regions, and Sardegna is one of them. I just thinking about it, the way to describe it has to be just wild and untamed. It's a whole different area. It's like stepping back in time. I mean, you can visit the cities, you know, like Cagliari in the south, the capital is beautiful and modern, and you can, not modern, but you can find like different cuisines and there are different influences, and it can be kind of young and fresh, but then you go outside of there and you are like back in time. So I'm just going to kind of show you these pictures starting in the north. So this is near in Gallura, where we will be talking a lot about the Vermentino di Gallura. But this is one of my first trips there to Giacinto's house. And this, I think I told you on a previous, I was gonna say episode or podcast. This is not a podcast. About the first time I went, took a ferry, get to Giacinto's house. It's like 7 a.m. and he's like, want some breakfast? And he pulls out a knife and starts slicing off prosciutto. And I came to find out that all Sardinian men have like a knife in their pocket at all times. And they have ones very particular to them. Actually, Giacinto and his father made myself and Matt a knife of our own for our wedding. And it was very rare because he doesn't make them for women, but I have my own. Actually, I should have grabbed it. But it's absolutely beautiful. This is the Ferragosto festival in August. So long barbecues, amazing foods. And one thing you might think about Sardegna, you think of it as an island, right? This beautiful water, bluest waters ever, just stunning. Absolutely to visit if you haven't been. But historically, the Sardinian people are farmers and shepherds, really. They work a lot with wildlife and animal husbandry rather than fishing. So a lot of the island, really inland, is focused on goats and cows and all these different things. Now, of course, around the beaches and the coasts, you can find great seafood as well. This is a visit to Giacinto and Nancy's, Giacinto's parents' house for Easter. I think I told you in a previous episode as well that we stopped at a roadside, I don't even know what you call it, tent for sea urchins at Ricci. And it was to me, absolutely disgusting, but I'll never forget it. It was just an experience, and you get your little wine and water out of those little vats, and they just are there shucking the ricci, and you just sit down at a table with some plastic chairs and sit there as long as you want, just eating ricci. I could have left like immediately. This is in the central and eastern coast around Giacinto's house, and we're going to talk about, Andrea will talk about that area in particular, really great for Cananao. But this is wild. So, I mean, this is Sardegna. Anywhere you go, plan on 20 extra minutes because there will be wildlife crossing the road in front of you and taking their sweet time. I mean, we sat there forever waiting for these cows to move. So Sardo is its own language. And I don't know if this is interesting or not, but I remember filming this because with Giacinto's uncle in the car, he was just talking, and we had no idea what he was saying because he was speaking Sardo, completely different from normal Italian. So I'm going to play a clip of this. If you can hear him and not know what he's saying, you know, if you try to find some words in Italian, you're not going to find them. Let me just play a clip. I mean, it's just a hot mess. So all of that, anywhere you go, you're like basically off-roading. That is my idea of being in central Sardinia, and it's glorious. This day we were with him, we went to this park, and we saw the cows and sheep. We saw this is one of the nuraghe, the huts that locally are known as the Tomb of the Giants. So thousands and thousands of year-old structures by the native people. There are 7,000 of them still on the island, all over the island. And if you find one, you can climb around it and walk through it and all that stuff. We saw prosciutto just hanging in a random hut that his uncle knew about. And then on another day, went out for a walk and ended up hiking this mountain, Perdamliana, and touched the sun, basically. I'm still scarred from this experience because Giacinto told me we were just going for a walk and I wore the wrong shoes. And 3 hours later, we walked on top of that rock. Another visit down in Calgary. This was fabulous seafood restaurant. We spent 3 hours, ate everything in sight. This up here, these are little snails that are stuck onto this gentleman's fingers. And everything. He brought us out this fresh seafood and we selected what we wanted from it. We tried a little bit of everything. And then Mirto. So talking about limoncello, digestive drinks, things like that, Mirto is hands down my #1 love in life. It's really hard to find outside of Sardinia. If you can find one though, oh man, hold on to your hats. It's wonderful. This is another trip so down south to the southwest of Calgary, the area where, so I have 3 wines today. Carignano comes from this area, and we'll see some of the really unique vines from this area. But some of you have maybe heard me talk about one trip to Sardinia when I was dating Matt later on, and I rented this teeny tiny little car. He claimed to be a fighter pilot. I don't really, you know, we're dating for a few months. Okay, you're a fighter pilot. I don't know what that means. He gets behind the wheel of this car, and 10 minutes later, he has scraped it alongside of a building in downtown Calgary. And I was like, there's no way you're a pilot. And he's like, there are no walls in the sky. You don't have to compete with stuff in the sky. Anyway, I like that story. So I really rushed through, but basically where we started out looking with those beaches, Billionaires Beach, Porto Cervo, up here in the Gallura area. This is where, so Sardegna has one DOCG, and it is the Vermentino di Gallura DOCG up in this area in the northeast. Beautiful islands, the Maddalena archipelago here, and then you can ferry over to Corsica as well. And then I skipped down here to the countryside with wild animals and the high hilltops. These are the Gennargentu area with the highest mountains on the island, and the areas where some of the very best expressions of Cananao come from, even though Cananao is grown and made all over the island, and it is the island's top red. And then I jumped down here to Cagliari and the beaches of this area for Carignano, which we will look at and talk about some more. So I'm going to skip these because Andrea really prepared a very nice presentation for those. So I'm going to zip it. If anyone wants to hear more about Sardegna and visiting and seeing all those places, just call me. We'll chat for hours. It's fabulous. Laura Lee, we're there. Okay, so I'm going to pass it to Andrea now and let him tell us more about the wine regions and the wines.
Yeah, we put the slide. Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. You are in host?
Yes. Where did you go? I'm going to make you the host.
Yes, we put the slide.
There you are. Okay, you should have the host now so you can show us.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a big pleasure for me to be here with you. I think it's 3:30 with you and here 9:30, 9:40. We have, thanks a lot, Sally, for the nice presentation, beautiful picture. And me too, I have some picture about Sardinia. Here is a winery near La Maddalena. It's called Tenuteledda. Is Vermentino di Gallura, the best important white grapes for Sardinia. Vermentino in Sardinia, we have 4,500 hectares. In Italy, only 6,000. Is very important Vermentino for Sardinia. All Sardinia produce Vermentino of Sardinia, only the north produce Vermentino of Gallura, DOCG 1996. And a brief history, we speak about grape growing and winemaking in Sardinia early about 5,000 years ago. Very important Carta de Logo in 1392, Eleonora d'Arborea published the Sardinian First Official Code of Law, which included the provision, regulation, viticulture and farming. It remained in force until 1827, but in 720, House of Savoia founded the Regia University of Cagliari. Another fantastic picture, we are in the area of Canonau in a small village, Oliena. Canonau DOC have 3 sub-regions. First is Oliena, Nepente of Oliena, after Capoferrato in the south near Cagliari, and Jerzu. Now we look the picture. 80 years, these plants, very old. And 70% of production Canonau is in area of Nuoro, very important. And the production, approximately, we have 435,000 liters, and 68% is hilly area. Remaining area is about divided between plains and mountains. More red grapes, the first is Canonau, second Monica, and white grapes, first is Vermentino, of course, second is Nuragus, near Cagliari. But we have other grapes. 95% of these grapes come from Spain. In 17, 18, 16, many grapes. Carignano is Carinena. Canonau is Grenache, is very similar. 1 DOCG, Vermentino di Gallura, and 19 DOC. We see the picture, obviously in the north we have Gallura in this area. In the south, near Cagliari, in this area we have Carignano, very famous. Carignano. We have the plant on the beach. And this area is famous for Vernaccia di Oristano, near Oristano. DOC about 1970 wine, oxidate wine, very nice. And here we have only Bosa, famous for Malvasia. Okay, we look also, many indigenous variety. We speak about Vermentino and Nuragus, Vernaccia. Famous in the north also Torbato in the area of Alghero is famous for sparkling wine. The big company Selle Mosca was established in 1899, produces sparkling wine with these white grapes, Torbato. Red grapes, obviously Canonau and Monica. Carignano. In the north, near city, village, Sassari, Sennor, you have Pascale. Bovale is in the area of Marmilla, area of Sannuri. Suento Winer is famous for red grapes, Bovale. In the past, is used to put in other grapes 5-10% in a blend. Suento, our company, produce Bovale 100%. It's famous also Cagnulari. We have 400 hectares in all Sardinia, in area of Sassari. Okay, we look, the macroclimate, okay, in Sardinia is very, very hot. For example, 2016 harvesting maybe 25 degrees, 2017, 47 degrees in summer, with crazy. It's very important, the wind, maestrale, scirocco, and the winters are mild, hot, dry, and we spit in summer.
The can I say the maestrale, the sirocco, these are winds that blow up from North Africa, all the way across the Mediterranean. They sweep across Sardinia and up into the mainland. And it's like you hear of the Santa Anas in California. All summer, you have this hot wind coming up from the south, and people are like, oh, sirocco or maestrale. I mean, it's like a talked about thing, these hot, hot winds. So it plays a huge effect on Sicily and Sardinia, especially. Yes.
Canonau, very famous for Sardinia, red grapes, the best important, 8,000 hectares. After we drink Canonau and also Vermentino, we have this three production subzone, Oliena, Nepente di Oliena, Ierzu and Capoferrato. Very famous American surgeon said on TV that the longevity of centenarians in Sardinia is attributed to the local red wine Canonau. It's very important to drink a lot Canonau.
So can I pause for 1 second? So I think people have heard this, that, you know, they named like the 5 cities in the world with the most centenarians, the most people of one, you know, with 100 years old. And there's Japan, and one town in California, I forget the others, but one is this little town in Sardinia in general, but in particular, this little town in Sardinia in the hills where Giacinto's family is from. So Giacinto's mother has 12 siblings, and most of them are shepherds. I did spend Easter with this crazy bunch once around a long table. A lot of the shepherds they only come down from the mountain a few times a year for holidays to eat lunch with their families. It was hard for them to leave the sheep that they had. So I get to the town and see the sign for this tiny little dot on the map. But it's one of the places in that book that has the longest lifespan in the world. And I tell you, they're outside, they eat meat, they eat red meat, they eat cheese, and they drink red wine. So I was like, I am nailing this. I'm going to live forever, basically. Okay, sorry.
Thanks, Sally. And after another beautiful picture from Canonau, ungrafted plants of Canonau, 90 years in area of Oliena. This wine come very full body, rich, maybe 15, 16 alcoholic strength, is ideally food pairing with meat and cheese. Fantastic.
Can I stop you here on this picture too? Because I think that maybe we don't all know grafted versus ungrafted. So basically we've talked about phylloxera very, very briefly before, but it was an infestation that came from America. It wiped out the rootstock of all European vines in the late 1800s and early 1900s. So it is extremely rare that we find vines like this so grafted means what happens was, in order to save the vines, they brought over American rootstock, which were, resistant to the pest. Brought over American rootstock, planted them all over Europe, and then grafted Italian vines and French vines and other vines onto these little legs. So they'll cut off a piece of the trunk and like tie a stick, a vine onto it, and it'll graft and grow off that. So most European vines now are grafted. So what he means by ungrafted is it's a natural rootstock basically from the area. And it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare to see. And a lot of it has to do with the soil. Probably the sand that it's in was the reason it could survive the phylloxera maybe.
Yes, yes. In the world, for example, also in Argentina, we have plants at 3,000 hectares, or for example, in Australia, in area of Eden Valley, there are a company produced a wine, 140 years, the plants. Incredible, incredible. Wow. Another picture here, we are in area of Capoferrato. Another sub-region for production of Cannonau is in the south, near Cagliari. But the best area is in area of Nuoro, Oliena, and Jerzu. Another picture from production of Cannonau, fantastic, is normal viticulture here. And the main growing area, we see Gallura for Vermentino, Alghero for Torbato, Nuoro e Mandrolisai for Cannonau, Monica and Bovale, Oristano for Vernaccia, Sulcis for Carinena, Carignano, Campidano from Bovale, Ogliastra from Cannonau.
So many words, beautiful words.
Yeah, yeah. And is very important is Gallura. This area is famous for also holidays, Porto Cervo, Porto Rotondo, Arzachena, San Teodoro, very famous. And the Vermentino di Gallura is very, very important because it gives the sensation, nice sensation of fruit, flower, big minerality, very important. And we have Vermentino with 13, 15, and 14 alcoholic strength with full body. And the white grape variety, which gives refreshing, well-structured wine with a mineral character and good length. Herbal quality reminiscent of the Mediterranean scrub and note of rich white fruit. Almondy finish, the characteristic of Vermentino di Gallura depend of the age also, the harvesting. For in January, we drink in this moment Vermentino 2019, but is good also 2018, 2017. 2019 is more fresh, 2017 or 2018 is medium fresh, okay?
More complex, more developed flavors. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yes.
Another beautiful picture from one of the best important winery from Sardinia, Capichera, produces one of the best Vermentino di Gallura. This is Tomba dei Giganti. We are in the area of Arzachena. Is all Vermentino, Vermentino, very important for this company. Capichera, big. Yes,
this is another of the Tomb of the Giants. So another one of those thousands and thousands of year old huts that we find all over the island. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Beginning in 1978, Festo Vermentino is a fantastic company. Yes, beautiful view, beautiful wine. Vermentino, grapes, and area of Alghero, famous for also, obviously for Torbato, but we produce also Cannonau, Cagnolari, and Vermentino. And the particularity, desert wine, Moscato di Sorso Sennori. Is a desert wine with cake, is nice also with cheese, also blue cheese, different type of cheese. Moscato is a sweet wine.
I should mention too, so we're talking about a lot of wines today. Mostly, you know, we all have Vermentino.
Yeah.
Some people have Cannonau. I also have Carignano. You guys, there's so many different wines and they're very unique from Sardinia. So one of the beautiful things, if you hear of something today, for example, Monica is a red grape that I really didn't know much about before this week, and I'm super interested in it. Andrea's wine shop in Sardegna, you know, if anyone's interested in ordering a mixed box, as you go through and hear some of these things, the dessert wines, the unique wines, keep notes, because he can also ship you boxes of wine.
Yeah. Other picture, Sally, other 5 minutes and we taste wine. If you want, we are in the area of Mandrolisai, center of Sardinia. Mandrolisai DOC is a blend from 60% Cannonau, 30% Monica, 10% Bovale. Unique wine, very, very important, plants 90 years, incredible, fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oristano, we speak before about Vernaccia, is very famous, Malvasia di Bosa. Vernaccia and Malvasia are oxidate wine. Now we look at some picture, also this. Carignano, fantastic picture on the white beach, incredible. Ungrafted also here. Yes, you have a Carignano, Sally?
Carignano.
Okay. But this picture is fantastic. It's fantastic, it's very old. Is unique.
It's amazing.
And Vernaccia also di Oristano, we have many plants, many grapes here. And this Sardinian floor East matured wine is aged, is an oxidative sherry-like system for at least 5 years. Pronuncied aroma, almond di palate. In Sardinia we have a lot of biscuits, gueffi, papassini, cake. Is a nice combination, but also with cheese is fantastic. In general, cheese okay with red wine, but it's possible also combination with this type of wine, for example, blue cheese. Semi-stagionated wine, cheese, maybe with red wine, blue cheese with this type of wine. Or it's nice also with Moscato or other wine, very important also in French, for example, Sauterne.
It's a unique thing. So actually this is perfect, that the picture of the Solera. So yeah. I think a lot of people really don't know about, from my experience in America, we don't really hear a lot about sherry and these oxidated wines. So it's really interesting to see, because sherry, very much like, what's the Sicilian wine?
Marsala.
Sherry and Marsala have gotten really bad reputations, right? Because they were convoluted over the years, and then all the bad stuff was shipped to America and England for cooking. But in the original places, they're really unique wines. They can be dry, they can be sweeter, but they're made with such attention and care. They go through these systems, the Solera. So it's like a battery of, it's a set of barrels that the wine always contains like a little bit of mother lees from one round, let's say. And so you put in new wine on those and it adds flavor to that wine. And then you move and blend the wine through the different barrels so that they all kind of blend and take on these different flavors, but you don't fill the barrels completely. You can see in this next picture, you only fill them so much so that on the top of the wine, a floor, like a mold, kind of like a yeasty mold, covers the wine and also imparts these really complex flavors into the wine. So these are wines, again, that can be dry or sweet, but they have really complex flavors. And if you go to where they make them, they're drinking sherry and this vernaccia as an aperitivo. You know, you drink a dry one with, you know, before a meal and things like that too. So they're really unique. I think they're really fun to try at some point because it's not something we easily find here. But I have some dry sherry like that we got in Spain that is, you know, kind of their everyday aperitivo drinking wine that, you know, who knew? So it's a really unique thing that I highly suggest people try at some point.
Yeah, yeah. You find here Vernaccia wine from 80, 90, 100 year is incredible. And
Wow.
This is another company called Contini near Oristano, 1 kilometer from the beach. Is the first winery in Sardinia, was established in 1898. Contini wine, first producer of Vernaccia. We see the other picture. And after we have another curiosity, we speak before, Malvasia from Bosa, small village. Is also an oxidative style, a minimum aging period of 25 months. We have aromas of ripe fruit, nuts, and toasted almonds. Full, warm, ideal pairing traditional cookies from Sardinia. And this is the wine of friendship and hospitality. When you arrive in Sardinia, in area of Bosa, would you like to drink a glass of Malvasia? A glass of Malvasia and Vernaccia are friendship and hospitality for the tourist, for everybody.
Beautiful. Yes, yes, I will.
Last picture, Bosa. Yes, nice houses, red, white, yellow, orange, blue. It's small city of Bosa. Very, very characteristic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. If you want, Sally, I don't know, we drink. Tell me what you prefer.
Yeah, let's go to, if you can stop sharing.
Yes.
We'll go back to the video of all of us. And then, yeah, let's taste. So I think most people have a Vermentino. Some people also have Cannonau, but maybe Nancy, you're here. Nancy, did you see the pictures of you guys in Sardegna? Nancy, whose pictures I showed before, they now live in New Zealand and they are—
No, I joined late. Sorry.
Joined late. Nancy, we showed pictures of you and Giacinto eating Ricci and doing all sorts of stuff. I didn't ask your permission, sorry. So let's talk about Vermentino. So who has a Vermentino? And so the Vermentino, again, this is the flagship white wine of Sardinia. It can be produced all over the island, but really the home and where it does best on the granity soils are up in that northeast corner of Gallura. But I don't know what anyone else is tasting, but right away, mine has some tropical fruits like pineapple and maybe a little bit of mango. But it's interesting because it also has like kind of a salty salinity finish to it. I'm gonna unmute people because I'd like to hear what— I'm gonna reclaim the host.
We accidentally drank our Vermentino last week, Sally.
You drank your Vermentino last week.
We got confused.
That's okay. What did you think of it? Do you like it?
We ordered 3 cases.
So yes, you liked it.
Get out of that chair now.
Andrea, what are some of the, I'm gonna mute some people back again because can't behave. Just kidding. Andrea, what are some of the main like flavors and things that we taste in general with the Vermentino?
Yes, okay. In general, in the Vermentino, little bit different between Vermentino di Sardegna and Vermentino di Gallura. But in general, the first things that you try in Vermentino is the minerality and the white or yellow fruit. In this case, I have a Vermentino from Suentu Winery, Suimari, Vermentino of Sardinia 2019. The characteristics is the citrus and the Mediterranean herbals, for example, rosemary. But also in the nose, it's possible to scent the salt also in the nose, because we are near the sea. It gives this sensation.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important in this nose, minerality, fruit. Also at the end, sensation of pineapple and papaya at the end of the nose. Yes.
I need to get my hands on one from Galura, because the one I have, I don't know where it's from. It's from the island in general, but I need to get one from Galura for sure. But this one, I'm mostly tropical fruit.
Yeah.
A little bit of lemon too, but pineapple for sure on the one that I have. But it also has this salty character as well.
Yes. What's your Vermentino? You have Vermentino?
I think it's a Sella Mosca, because it was...
Okay. Sella Mosca from Alghero. Yes.
It was the easiest for us to get at the moment.
Okay. It's very nice. Another company called Surrau near Arzachena, big shop. It's possible to buy. Because now in the 2010 to 2020 was established 100 winery in Sardinia. Crazy, incredible. Yes, many
I want to try the Capichera too, that Fabrizio was...
Fabrizio is fantastic. Yeah.
I don't think he joined us, but Fabrizio, the winemaker, was going to do this with us. He was too nervous though, because he doesn't speak English. So we were going to translate. I don't know how that was going to work. But the beautiful picture that you showed, and knowing Fabrizio, he goes out and he drives the tractor himself, working in the vineyard. So if anyone wants their hands on Capichera, let me know. We can get some of that too through Andrea.
Yeah, Capichera is the story of Sardinia. Fabrizio is very winemaker, excellent. Yeah, nice wine, Capichera.
Oh.
We go to the red.
Yeah, let's talk about Canonau. So the star of Sardegna.
I have another Canonau, which is the characteristic of Canonau. In the nose, in my Canonau, I have the big sensation of raspberry and strawberry, and the spicy, very important in my Canonau, and balsamic, sensation of balsamic and freshness. Myrto, sensation of myrto is typical from Sardinia.
I do smell a little bit of myrto, my one true love in life. Mine has a little bit more of spice, so I'll show you which one I have. Again, not everyone at home has this, because maybe it wasn't available for me to ship to you right now. But I have a Canonau.
Pala, okay.
Did I do a good job?
Yes.
This is a 2016.
Okay.
And it's a little more spicy than it is fruity.
Okay.
At least on the nose. I haven't tried it yet. Yeah, definitely full-bodied, more jammy, like darker fruits and a little jammier. And it has a little more like black fruit and some spice to it rather than the fresh fruit. And you briefly mentioned this before, but if anyone likes your Vermentino, if anyone likes Grenache or Garnacha from Spain, this is the exact same grape. I just noticed somebody's comment that they have a Vermentino from Bulgari.
Okay, yes.
So there is Vermentino produced in Tuscany as well. So Bulgari produces some. Up closer to Liguria, places like that produce a little bit of Vermentino as well. So different style, different thing.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. but a different thing than we're talking about. So
It's produced now in 10 regions, Sally, Vermentino.
in 3 regions?
10.
Yeah.
In Italy, but in Italy we have 6,000 hectares and Sardinia have 4,500.
Right.
The other, Liguria, Tuscany is small.
Right. Very small production of it in the other regions. So Nancy, who basically is an adopted Sardinian daughter now because her husband is Sardo, and she can make the pasta. Nancy, you don't have your video on, but if you and Giacinto would like to chime in, we would all love it. But you don't have to, no pressure, but you should. I told them also about how she just woke up. Well, that's okay. She can handle it. I was telling him before too, I would love Giacinto to hop on here actually, but I'll stop rambling. I'm just excited that they're on here. Does anyone else have a Canna Now at home right now? Some people may have gotten some, no?
Me too, I have a 2016, me too, yes.
Me too, it's very good.
Yes.
So you mentioned this as well, but a lot of the grapes in Sardinia are the same as or related to Spanish grapes. And a lot of that has to do with the history of Sardinia itself and kind of passing hands through different kingdoms and things like that. But it was the House of Savoy in Spain that really influenced a lot of the wines. And I know there are some of the grapes that there's conflict. Did it start in Sardinia and then go to Spain, or did it start in Spain and then come to Sardinia? Probably if you ask someone in Sardinia and you ask someone in Spain, you'd get different answers maybe, but you know, they are related. So they're very similar in a lot of ways for the reason that Spain had a big influence on, ruled Sardinia, the land of Sardinia, for a couple hundred years. So that's one of the reasons. Also, if you want to talk briefly about Carignano, that comes mostly grown in the southwest, and how that's related to the Spanish grape as well. That was the one that we saw the picture of, was ungrafted in the sand.
Yes.
It was beautiful. Oh, it smells so good. Nobody else is talking. Everybody's quiet. They're drinking. Yeah, Allison, I see you.
Which company do you have, Sally? Selle Mosca or?
Yes.
Okay.
I have the Terre Rare. I have a
Terre Rare. Okay. I know. Yeah.
I have the Reserva of that one as well.
It's good.
It is. It's very good. Nicola, I see you in Puglia. You got a haircut. What do you think of these Sardinian wines?
Wait. Oh, I think they are very good wine. In fact, I'm drinking the Canna Now.
Mesa.
Yeah, it's very. Okay. Even in this case, it's quite easy to get it. I tasted the Carignano del Sulcis a few days ago. Honestly, very good red wine too. But I come from. Wait a second.
It's gonna be a Puglia versus
some kind of Sardinian tasting recently. Maybe you know.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And that's a lot. So a lot of bottle of Sardinia this week. But it was a kind of blind tasting, so.
Good.
Nicola,
very nice wine.
Did you taste all those in preparation for this call?
Honestly not. Honestly not. No, I'm not very. You know, it was really a blind tasting with the 3, 4. We were 4. Yeah. as Andrea said, it's very nice to see this kind of minerality, and in the same time, you have a lot of sun, so you have basically full-bodied wine, even if they are white. So very rich and structured wine. Of course, I love white wine, so Vermentino for me is very, very, very nice. A lot of times you feel this kind of almond hand in the mouth, and it's very, very, it's lovely, really, for me. So that's the thing that I love the most for the Sardinian wines.
It is really interesting, even when you have like a big fruity, you know, start to even like the Cannonau, you finish with this like saltiness where you can just close your eyes and kind of picture the brush and the seaside and that kind of feeling to it. So it's really interesting how they all kind of work together in these wines. Oh man. The Carignano, so that day that drove down to the beach in that area, and there was the picture of Matt having scraped up the car too. That was the only time in my life, I believe, that I also saw wild flamingos just standing on the side of the road in these lagoons with one leg up, just pretty pink, wild flamingos. And it's just amazing. I mean, Sardegna, I could just talk about all day long. I wish Nancy would, but she's apparently waking up still. How do you get to the island logistically? So you can fly. You can take a little flight to Cagliari or up north to Olbia, or you can take a ferry. And I suggest the flight because I'm taking the ferry. taking the ferry, and as a poor young 20-something, took the overnight ferry and couldn't afford one of the rooms where you can book a bed and things like that. So slept on the floor next to the children's game area, which was amazing. And so I highly suggest the 30-minute flight. It probably costs like $70, if that.
and you rent a car because it's necessary a car to visit Sardinia.
Yeah, definitely want the car. And you definitely want me or Nancy and Joshito, but me to go with you and make sure that you're eating all the right Ricci places. So when the seafood, so someone says besides seafood, what else is Sardinian food like? So again, from the land of traditionally we're shepherds, and really we're into farming, but mostly working with the animals on the inland areas. Lamb, pig, cow, what other animal? Goat. Lots of barbecue, lots of roasted meats. The traditional pastas are absolutely incredible. Tony, Nancy, help me out. What's the name of the hand-pinched, or Andrea, you can help me too. The culurgiones.
Culurgiones or maloreddus.
Malareddus.
Yes, maloreddus alla campidanese is tomato, sausages, and saffron.
Ooh.
Oh, culurgiones is very nice because inside the culurgiones there are cheese, potatoes, and mint. With tomato, it's fantastic.
So it's like a ravioli.
Sally, she's talking about culurgiones, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Giacinto, we can hear you, and we need you to tell us about the culurgiones. And that Nancy learned. It took Nancy how many tries with your mom before it was like signed off that she did okay?
Maybe twice, and she was already okay. Yeah, no, she did pretty good.
Come on, Giacinto and Nancy, we want to see you.
I don't know. She just wake up, so I don't know if it's a good.
We want to see you, Giacinto.
Come on, Giacinto.
Turn your camera on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey.
There he is.
Hello.
Nancy.
Hello.
So for Nancy and Giacinto's wedding in Tuscany, his family, all of his family came over and brought these coolers with them, right? Of all sorts of different meats. And your rehearsal dinner goes down in history for me as just the best experience ever, because they start roasting these animals in, I don't know what time I'm drinking, it doesn't matter. But then we go in and into the dining room and are all spread out, and you have these hedge clippers and different, like a chainsaw basically, that you're over at a table just chomping down on the bones of these animals that your family had brought over from Sardegna for your rehearsal dinner. And it was beautiful.
We got a video of that, I think.
Yes, maybe last time we can show the video. So yes, it's the only way to break the bones. We were talking about the sheep bones, yeah, because we cook sheep and porcedo. Yeah.
It was like I was sitting next to Andrea, and they just put everything out on the tables, and I reached for one last piece that was there, and you just grab it, you know, it's all by hand, and I bite into this piece and it hit something hard, and I look and it was a tooth, and I bit into the jawbone of this little piggy. And I thought, you know, I'm good, I'm done, I'm good, it's okay.
That's a sign. I think I've had enough.
I was the sucker that picked up the jawbone at the end.
It's all right. My brother picked up the tail, so.
But do you remember the day after the morning of the wedding when do you remember which kind of cheese we eat?
Oh, like lunch.
I don't know if you were there for the.
No, Giacinto, I ate this cheese at your house in Sardegna with your father.
Okay.
Can you tell everyone about this cheese, please?
Maybe Nancy can explain it better.
No, I think you're the expert at this cheese.
I don't know the English words. No, but it's, everyone maybe can know it's the casumarzu.
Yeah, casumarzu.
Yeah. It was so funny because it was pretty good. So it was just the first bite, and then everyone was going to eat a lot. I don't know, maybe someone else can explain what is, because I don't know the word in English. Nancy, can you help me?
It's a cheese. Well, what
Andrea, can you explain what that cheese is?
Yeah, it's not simple to explain the casumarzu because it's a cheese with mosquito, worms. It's not legal.
Yeah, it's not legal.
It's not legal, but do you know what?
Yeah.
It's a delicacy, though.
Yeah, it is even almost impossible to find. For my wedding, I asked the pleasure to my father friend to give me one because it was no the period, so it was almost impossible to find. But yes, it's not legal. It's not legal because you are eating something that is not supposed to be eating.
For AKCCP.
So it's
So it's basically, from my experience, I don't know the technical words of how they make it, but basically at Giacinto's home with his father, it was a jar of
that was the
mushy cheese, and in it looked
like a cream,
maggots or worms.
Yeah.
And they're alive and they're moving and they're going through it, and his father, wonderful father, cute as can be, standing there going, "No, Sally, you try it." And I'm like, all right. And it was so bad. It's so bad. It should be illegal. I'm glad it's illegal. I'm glad they don't make a lot of it. It's horrible.
It's very strong. So it's They like to describe it picante, so it's kind of like spicy cheese, and that's what like my brother the day of our wedding was going around. Oh, taste the spicy cheese to like my family members, and they tasted like it's all right, and then he'd tell them what it was. Oh God,
No, because
he almost lost his life that day from my aunt.
it's not even easy to make because there is only one mosquito, that one kind of mosquito that is able to start the process, and it's illegal, okay, but you have to understand that this mold of cheese never ever have contact with the external with external, so there is no disease, there is nothing. There's only one mosquito that go there when the cheese is aging, and it start the process, and then everything start from there. But it's no like the same mosquito cannot go to touch any other things. It's living with that
one form of cheese.
Yeah, with the one form of cheese, and so it's
controlled in a sense.
Yeah, in a sense. Yeah.
It's not hopping around to all different types or going to other things and getting contaminated, basically.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Yeah.
The other thing I was telling them, Giacinto, about visiting you for Easter that time was we were laying around one day and you're like, andiamo a fare una passeggiata. Let's go for a walk. Let's get outside. Okay. And then we end up on the top of Perdaviana somehow hours later, because Giacinto is a goat man, because his family are all sheep herders, and he's grown up on Gennargentu, this area, this beautiful, beautiful area. And he's like boing, 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 like on these rocks. And I've got on like Keds, and he's like, come on, let's go, let's go. It was beautiful, but also I'm still a little mad.
Yes, I remember Shirley complaining because
it's a little slippery for her.
Yes, it was so slippery for her, but it's not a long walk. Do you remember you can park really close to the rock?
It was beautiful in general, but I was not prepared. I was not mentally prepared for what we were doing.
No, even because you are from Perdaliana, that is a rock that is on top of the Gennargentu chain mountains. You can see a lot. You can have a really good spot. So you can see Gennargentu, Punta la Marmora. You can see even the sea, Cardedu Sea. It's a really good spot. You can see 360 degrees. Yeah, it's beautiful. I don't know if you remember, we saw even the mufloni, and all of the how do you say, all of the wild animals there. I don't know.
I showed some pictures before you guys got on of all the wild animals we saw that day. I think there were cows in the road, there were pigs running on the road. We saw the tomb of the giant in the park.
Yeah, the tombs. Yeah.
We also went to a like a latteria with your uncle. It was sheep.
Do you remember Michele?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, it was, it's the only, in my little town, is the first one that starts in the industrial way to produce the cheese. But it's not industrial, he just said, I think he has like 400 or 500 sheep. And yes, he is really an interesting guy. You can stay with him talking even all day long. He has always something to
do. With him all day long talking.
Do you remember it was talking about an American girl that she went there, she stayed with him his family for 1 or 2 months. And she even start milking the sheep. Yeah, I remember. It's so nice.
That's nice. So if any Slice of Tuscany people want to go stay with your uncles or your family and milk some sheep for a while, they can go do that?
Yeah, of course.
They'll put you to work.
Oh, wonderful.
It's so nice to see Nancy and Jacinto and Tony. Now we see you too. And
Tony is joining us from Florence. So Tony is my friend who some of you may have met. She owns and operates Taste Florence Food Tours and specializes in other areas in wines and balsamics also.
Eating dinner. I had dinner before this and I drank too much wine. I got to get some pasta.
So FYI, Tony in this weird time right now, this summer, if you watch Taste Florence, she's going to be doing some fun new projects and virtual things and tours and stuff as well. So if people want to check that out, let me know, follow Tony. That would be great. But
Thank you.
Andrea.
Yeah.
We should have been, maybe it's my memory. Look at this white hair, old age. But the photo that you took that looked like sand under the grapevines, it was gorgeous, very unique. Tell me again, exactly what grape, where was that in Sardinia?
The principal grapes.
Where was that picture with the photo? It looked like white sand underneath the grapes. You know that
area of Mandrolisai.
Mandrolisai.
Mandrolisai is in the center. There are principal city, Azzara, Sorgono. Mandrolisai is composed by a blend by 3 red grapes, Bovale, Monica, and Canonau. It's a typically small village, typically unique.
Very, it was gorgeous. That was very unique to see. Thank you.
Thanks.
Does anyone else have questions for Andrea or about the Sardinian wines? Of course, if you were intrigued by any of these, you can let me know and I can help you organize a special order straight from Sardegna, from Andrea, to your home. That is easy to do. But it's late for him, so if anyone else has any questions for him, we'll do that now. No? Okay. Well, Andrea, I thank you for joining us today. And we had a smaller group, but I know some people are excited to watch this recording as well. And thank you for giving us a tour of the Sardinian wines. And I can't wait to come back. I know they can't wait to come and visit you.
Yes, a big pleasure. No, thank you very much. And I would like also to Giacinto, which is the village. Where are you from, Giacinto? The city, small village. I don't understand the village.
Villanova Strisaili.
Ah, fantastico. Nice ham, beautiful.
Good prosciutto too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think yes, we are famous for the ham. And honestly, yes, we are. It is. It's really good because even here, everywhere I went, and I taste ham. I don't know. I always prefer my
No. It's true. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. Fantastic.
Giacinto, since you're here, can I show you the photo that I shared with them before?
Yeah, of
I
course.
didn't have your permission before, so I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. You know you can do.
But the first day when Andrea and I arrived, my friend Andrea, on the and we arrived at your house and we were tired. We hadn't slept all night on the ferry. And I don't know what's happening. It was like my 10th day in Italy ever. We walked into your house and you pulled a knife from your pocket and you said, "Would you like some breakfast?" And you pulled that out and just started shaving off prosciutto. And I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's the first time that we met. Yeah, you're
That
right.
was the very first time that we met. Oh, it's lovely. And then I also showed them these.
Okay, yeah.
Same visit.
Your brother and Giovanni. And then
Yes.
the second time I came to visit for Easter when we had the Ricci.
We were in Cagliari. We
Yeah.
were in Cagliari. Yes,
Poeto.
it was a Poeto, the beach, the big beach in Cagliari, and it was the period of the Ricci, and they are so good. Yeah.
No, but I loved that I was going through pictures this morning, and the tent where the Ricci were was called Ricci Mania.
Yeah. It was. I remember that. That picture of us popped up the other day on Facebook. As a, like, 6 years ago, or however many years ago it was.
Yeah, that was 2014.
Yeah. Craziness.
Crazy. All right. Well, Andrea, I thank you again. I thank everyone for joining today. This is our last one for the summer. I think people are already doing different things on the weekends, which we can see today with the smaller group. But if anyone needs wine or needs anything from Italy, or you want to do a virtual tour with Taste Florence, or anything at all, keep in touch, let me know. And I will be working on tastings for Northern Italy with the producers for the fall. So in the meantime, you can just find me here just with these, doing a whole lot of nothing.
Thank you very much, Sally.
Thank you all. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Fun.
Have
Cheers.
a good day. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.
See you in
Cheers.
Sardinia.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. See you in Sardinia.
Yeah.